This slide should be familiar now. We're back to our sample architecture. And again, I wanted to show you what it looks like from the IaaS side. You'll notice at the bottom there we have our infrastructure core, or IaaS, and that's the components installed on top of a Windows server. And we'll get more into that. You can see there's a separate database here. So remember before we talked about the VCAC server using that Postgres SQL database, right? Well, IaaS actually uses a Microsoft SQL Server database, and that's external to the deployment here. So that is one of the requirements, and you can see here it's communicating to that database server back and forth over port 1433, which is the standard SQL Server port. You'll see it has a connector up into the virtual appliance for the server. So that means that it can communicate to and from, again, the vCloud Automation Center server. So it passes information, does provisioning tasks, and that all happens over port 443 or SSL. Lastly, we have the fabric portion. You'll notice on the right, this is where the IaaS components can push instructions to or provision to physical resources or the virtual resources. It's those fabrics that are those groupings of resources that the IaaS components end up talking to. So those are a very important piece of all this, and we'll cover exactly what those are and what they're made up of. But I think you get a better idea now what the flow looks like from an overall deployment perspective.